Hello, we're live.
Howdy, howdy, howdy.
Let's try that. All right. I don't know what's going on, but it's not. It keeps shutting off on the live. And it was doing that earlier when I was. But yeah. So I'm going to take those off because it's easier to do the live without them on. So hello.
Hello, hello.
Hopefully you guys can gather in. Somebody come on in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Been a busy week. And yep, we've been running around. Running. There's Evelyn Newman.
Hello,
Hi,
Evelyn.
Evelyn. So, well, Jared's going. Oh, he's going after his candy.
Those are pretty good.
They are good.
Dark chocolate covered freeze-dried cherries.
Mm-hmm. Those are good. So we planted garden today. Started planting garden. We've got we planted onions today. We found onion plants because we prefer the plants and not the sets. The sets are the little bulbs, and we prefer the actual onion plants that look like a little green onion. And we like putting those in the ground because you can get a bigger bulb. And usually they'll store longer because they're not, their goal is not to go to seed. If you plant the little bulbs, they're called a set, and the set has already bulbed, so its job is to bear seed. So it will produce a bulb, usually not as large as a plant, it depends on the variety, but it will also do a seed shoot in the middle, and that will cause rot in the middle. Yeah, they just don't store as long.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So, this better be the last because I'm too busy talking.
Too busy talking to eat.
Mm-hmm.
I never have that problem.
But anyway, last week, sorry we didn't have a live and didn't have much notice of not having a live. We had to make a mad dash to Kansas and back last Sunday and take Luke home.
We did that yesterday too.
Not to take him home, but a mad dash to Kansas and back, yeah. But yeah. So we got family photos. We'll have to put one up on our community page for everybody. Not planting this year. That's all right. That's all right. But yeah, just do what you can do.
We've had potatoes in the ground for a while, and a few radishes and carrots and lettuce in the ground. Mm-hmm. And the radishes are up. Some of the carrots, I think, are popped up. But we also, today, we planted beets, planted onions, we planted beets, we planted kale, Swiss chard, radishes, carrots, lettuce,
kohlrabies.
Trying
to remember what else. I think that's about it.
Yep.
But yeah, just planting stuff.
Getting our garden planted. We went foraging this week. We did not find any of those one things we were looking for. But we did find some wild onions.
We did.
And we ate them one morning, made breakfast with them.
Yeah. So yeah, we've been busy. And hello, Rebecca. How are you? Yeah. So, and we worked. Yep, moved in to flip it. Awesome. Too busy working on it, getting it ready to sell, huh? Totally understand. Yeah. We're still eating. We still could be eating squash. We still have squash from last fall.
Yep.
We've mostly been feeding it to the animals, feeding it to the chickens. Good, you're feeling better? Good, Rebecca.
We were making some fried squash pretty often.
Yeah.
And we kind of slowed down on that, and we're still making like squash bread, pumpkin bread kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Pumpkin corn bread. That's my favorite.
Yes.
Pumpkin corn bread. Like we ought to make a loaf of that tonight so that we have it for the week.
Yeah, we could do that.
I've got some squash cooked in a freezer bag.
Oh, good. Good.
Make it easy.
Is that telling you we're live?
Nope.
Oh.
Tell me somebody said something on Facebook.
Oh, somebody said something on Facebook. But yeah, so we're just.
I'm glad you're feeling better, Rebecca. That's good.
Mm-hmm. It's very good. We went and visited family.
Yep.
Yeah. So went and visited Gary's family. They're all doing good. And then we had family photos. Our kids and us all met in Kansas yesterday. The two that lived there, and then the one that doesn't live at our farm. She came. Oh goodness, I'm sorry, Becca. Those can be a pain, and it can really be difficult to fight, and they can make you crazy, and they might. Yeah, I know lots of folks that they make them crazy.
And they with the high fevers and everything, they kind of start hallucinating.
Yep. So I'm glad you're doing better, Rebecca.
Me too.
But yeah. So Luke and Hannah and our Rebecca and Gary and I, we had family photos yesterday, and in Kansas, and then we had lunch with the kids, and then we had photographs taken, and then we made a mad dash home. So yeah,
We got our riding lawnmower, we picked it up, and we
picked
get
it
it running again.
Yep. And yep. So that's what we've been doing. Thank you, Evelyn. I'm glad you liked those. We thought they were pretty good too.
Yes. Son's dog kind of stole the show a
He
little
did.
bit.
Luke kept telling him to try to get him to stay and to sit. And usually mine's really, really well, but he was super excited. And he was super photogenic. That is Boom. And, yeah. That's Dan's daddy. And
We've had him on our live once before.
we have. Yeah,
We had him, yep.
yeah, I know it. He's something. Chamomile tea. Huh. It did help. Wow. That's good.
Just staying well hydrated with things that aren't high sugar probably helped too.
Yeah.
The,
Well, chamomile tea has a lot of medicinal purposes.
It absolutely does.
And yeah.
Another thing I've heard that helps with that, Rebecca, cranberry juice, of course, but dill tea.
Yeah. Dill
tea.
Yeah.
Hello, Barb.
Hi, Miss Barb.
Ben's over Acres,
Yep,
right?
Barb. Yep.
Barb?
Hi, Barb.
Yeah, it's good to see everybody in here. I know that this is, a lot of people start getting kind of busy this time of year with different things.
Mm-hmm.
Starting to be gardening time and yard taking care of time. This is turkey hunting time for some folks. Fixing to be mushroom hunting time. We've looked once already. My brother said he'd looked too, and they hadn't found any yet either. Hello.
Hello, Miss Patty. Good. I'm glad that some of your pain has lessened. Hopefully, the rest of it will as well.
Yeah. This year we decided we were going to plant a lot more potatoes in our garden.
Mm-hmm.
So we planted quite a few potatoes. Not the most we've ever planted, but for our little garden we planted quite a few. And see how that goes.
Mm-hmm. But we went over to Gary's family, and that got us late getting back. We barely got ready for our live in time. Gary was bringing stuff in while I was getting ready for the live. So hopefully we'll have enough battery. I didn't look to see what battery I have. We'll maybe make it. We may not make it through the whole live, but if I plug it in, that was what was causing it to fade in and out. Something's wrong with the charger or something that I've got. Because when I unplugged it, it quit starting over. So, yeah. So we'll chat for a while today. And it's really not a whole lot of new stuff going on. We got some Happy St. Patty's Day.
Yes.
We love St. Patrick. He's one of our favorite missionaries.
Yeah. Patrick was an amazing missionary.
Oh, Miss Patty. Oh yes, definitely pray for. So we got Rebecca and Patty. Yes, definitely.
What was I did her knee, but I didn't.
She
catch that.
blew her knee out, and she can't see the other doctor until Thursday, and the pain is breathtaking. Pray for relief and strength to make it through. She can barely walk. Oh, so sorry, Patty. Goodness. Yes, definitely be praying for that. Yeah.
I'm sure Patty knows, but hot and cold on something like that can dull the pain a little bit or make it a little more comfortable, I guess is the right word. It can kind of help you deal with it.
So sorry that you are having that issue. That you hurt yourself. That, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of pain in our
Knee
joints.
pain is
Yeah.
rough.
And we use them.
Yes.
Use them a lot.
It's hard to do much without your knees.
Yeah.
We were saying we really enjoy Patrick, and he's one of our favorite
Yes.
missionaries. And yeah, we enjoy. I don't know, just the whole story of Patrick. So young, kind of well off, Rome. When Great Britain was part of Rome, and he lived on the British Isle, he was kidnapped by Irish raiders and taken to Ireland. And you guys didn't know that Patrick was not Irish, right?
Yes, he was kidnapped into slavery. Exactly.
He was kidnapped into slavery, and there's long stories about the Druids wanting to sacrifice him, and then him being taken into slavery, watching over sheep and pigs, and just he had been taught about Jesus. He knew who Jesus was, and he'd been taught the faith, but he really got into his faith in that situation because he had nothing else to rely on. And he began to pray often. And he said at one time he thought he was probably praying over 100 times a day. And then he had a dream and that said he would leave on a ship. And when he woke up, an angel guided him to a ship on the sea, and he escaped, and he got back to the British Isles, to Great Britain. He got real involved in the church, became a bishop, right?
He was a bishop.
And then he had a dream, and he had learned the Gaelic language, the Irish language, when he was in Ireland. And he had a dream where somebody was praying in that language for God to send somebody, and then that it was him. And so then he ended up going back to where he'd been enslaved to tell them about Jesus. And there's all kinds of stories to go with that. But
and he had a showdown, kind of very similar to Elijah.
Yes.
And yeah, he had a showdown with the Druid priests, like a lot like the Elijah with the prophets of Baal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Awesome, Evelyn. Thank you.
It's just an amazing story, and if you get to research and read about St. Patrick, it's awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, lots of fun stuff with St. Patrick and his dedication and his service.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
So when we were pastoring our church in Kansas, it was common to take up mission offerings on Christmas and Easter. Well, we really wanted to make the focus of Christmas and Easter our Savior. So we took up our mission offerings on St. Patrick's Day, or right around St. Patrick's Day. We used that holiday to be our mission offering. And so we always enjoyed that.
Yeah. It's starting to green up here. I don't know how it's doing where y'all are at, but it's starting to green up here in Kansas. They're starting burning already for the control burns for the pastures. And yeah, so that was neat to see some yesterday. The wind was, it wasn't too windy and wasn't too dry. Hello, Christy.
Sent you a prayer request.
It's a prayer request. Okay. I'll have to check it later.
And we'll pray for that privately.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
we will definitely. And when we get to our prayer time this evening, we definitely are going to pray for Patty and for Rebecca.
Yeah, and
We'll lift whatever yours is up, Evelyn, because we know that God knows.
Yeah. Growing like crazy. Cool. Yep. I've got a few plants started downstairs, but we had something. My shelves fell over, so we don't know what happened there. But the shelves fell over, and we had to redo it. Heater making noise.
Yeah, I guess that's all it was.
The shelves fell over, and we had to pick everything back up.
What caused that? I never could figure that out.
I noticed that this under here is all dug out really under the house. I don't know if a varmint did come across there.
Well, I have that bag stuffed in the hole in between.
Oh.
It's never been moved.
Okay.
And there was no tracks. Could have been, I guess.
Yeah, that's right. There weren't any tracks in the dirt down there. So, yeah, I don't know. It's one of those crazy things. I don't know that I have a whole lot to chat about today. Does anybody have any questions we can answer, or?
So right now it is time to start foraging. If
Yes.
if you've got a good foraging book, a lot of greens are starting right now. We know I've already harvested dandelions and wild onions. Right now, something else that's out that's very edible is the red buds are blooming here,
Yes,
and red bud blooms are delicious.
they are.
And so those are something that you can be eating here. And there's many other things. I know that Bo Brown, about 2 weeks ago, he was saying that it was a good time to start identifying and marking hazel bushes, hazelnut bushes, because their caracal, their little bloom kind of thing was out. And it was a good way to identify them. I did not get any identified. I don't know if we've got any right around here or not. But they are in the Ozarks. But I don't know if they're in our part of the Ozarks or not. And maybe not on the ground that I have access to.
Right.
But Cindy and I found the spice bush trees blooming. Man, those smelled good, didn't they? Spice bush bushes.
Yeah.
I said trees, but bushes.
Yeah, they're bushes. Yeah.
But yeah, right now is the time to really start foraging. If you're gonna garden, this is a time to be working on gardening and getting some of your early stuff in.
Yes, totally understand.
Yeah, absolutely.
Totally understand it being, yeah, and we'll just say your unspoken request and not mention that, because sometimes things we forget that this is such a public, yes, is so public. It feels intimate this way, but that anybody can watch this. But yeah, but Christy, that's a concern here too.
Yeah.
We don't know, Barb. We're just going to give it a go anyway. We're going to give it a go anyway. And the other thing that usually we help as a natural bug control is not an option for us here. Hello, Julia, U.S. Midwest. Happy Sunday evening to you too. Is chickens. We used chickens in the past. We've used chickens a lot as a bug control and a help with the bug control. And we can't free range our chickens here. Too many critters, and yeah.
Birds of prey and all that stuff.
Birds of prey, neighborhood dogs.
Yeah, neighborhood dogs.
And lots of predators besides the neighborhood dogs. There's lots of predators. So with that high predator pressure, we are not going to free range our chickens. We have plans to move them in the wintertime along the gardens, so that they can kind of help naturally till and fertilize and do a little bit of bug control, but we didn't have things ready to do it this winter. So we'll see. I don't know. Everybody's hyping up about the cicada hatches, which we'll be in the path of those cicada hatches.
And it might happen that if we're around here for an hour or two, right before
Yeah.
dark, we might let our chickens out for an hour or two.
If we're working in the yard or whatever. And right now
But only if we're going to be where we can watch them.
And typically, since we don't have these gardens fenced, at this point in the game, we don't let the chickens out anyway. We usually have them caught up while we're planting so that everything gets good and established. And I missed that. What? Oh no! Oh no! Christy thinks her cat got bit by a water moccasin. Oh man, Christy, I hope your cat recovers. Well, they seem to, they'll swell up and have almost like an allergic reaction and stuff too. But I hope he does all right. Yeah.
The biggest thing on critters and getting snake bit, and small critters like cats, it can get them. But the biggest thing is when it hits them in the face.
These are airways.
It starts to shut off airways.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, the cats usually don't. They'll stalk them. They like to hunt snakes. They really love to play with snakes. They get a kick out of them.
And a lot of times, that's something we don't talk about much on bug control, but bigger bugs like cicadas and even grasshoppers, a lot of times cats will hunt those too. And especially younger cats will get hard on the grasshopper population and stuff, which can be good.
Yeah.
Can be good for your garden.
So we'll see. We're just going to trust in the Lord and do our best to do what we can do. And if we have to, if it gets to where we're really blessed to have a setup here that we can grow some stuff inside. Oh, bless his heart. Oh. But, and we can get by with some things, we'll see we'll just see how the year goes. But our goal is we've gotten we've gotten into eating a lot of stuff that we don't grow. Majority of our meat, except for, I say that, but even a lot of our meat we've been buying. We've been buying a lot of.
We've been buying some summer
sausage and bologna.
Just because it's quick and easy.
Yeah, and to pack lunches with, and but.
We still tend to eat some of our own produced meat about every day.
Yes. Yeah. And then we've got eggs now from the chickens, and we get anywhere from 1 to 4 eggs a day, and so that's been nice and a good source of protein. And then we've been feeding them, poor kitty, and we've been feeding them some of our leftover squash. So that was nothing's wasted. That's what I feel good about. Nothing's wasted. It's all going to the chickens or to the dogs. And Gary's been making dog food out of the squash, which the dogs absolutely love. They would rather eat the squash dog food that has a little bit of meat in it over the kibble. They are nuts.
Put dry dog food in their pan, they look at you like you shot at them. They're like, what is the matter with you? This is not what I want.
The other day we were supposed to get really bad storms, so my lunch is in mid afternoon for my job, and so I come home and did all chores because the big storms hadn't hit yet. Yes, that's exactly it, Christy. Keep trying to figure out how to keep them out since you don't have a run. Yeah. And it be economical and affordable. I've seen some really nice pallet gardens if you can get pallets cheaply, and
that can help.
That can help.
Any kind of fencing, that is pretty much what it's going to take, is some kind of fencing.
Yeah. Chicken. I don't know what the cost of chicken wire is. It may be really expensive right now.
And chicken wire will keep chickens out.
It won't keep predators out.
Protecting chickens because it won't
It's so
keep predators
little.
out. But it will keep chickens out of something.
Right. Yeah, the cost of anything right now is outrageous.
Pallets can definitely be a good source for that.
If you have a free source, if you can free
Right.
source them, they're pretty expensive otherwise. There you go, Christy. Yeah. But like Gary's saying, if you have a high predator, a raccoon can tear chicken wire to shreds. He can just make him a hole.
But your garden is not.
Yeah.
That's not what.
He's not going to want in your garden. Well, he
Unless
might
it's
want
sweet
your
corn or
sweet corn
watermelons.
and watermelons, and he'll just climb over it. But yeah, and sometimes you can get around, like if you do for your garden and you're just wanting to keep rabbits and chickens out, you can actually have like get the shorter chicken wire, and go and not have to have so tall.
You know, if you're keeping chickens in, it needs
Yeah.
to be pretty tall.
Right.
But just to keep chickens out that are free range and got plenty of other
Yeah.
stuff to do, it doesn't have to be as tall.
Right. Right. I mean, they can jump or fly in. They can fly short distances, but usually they don't if they have other places to range. But it just, yeah, we just have. We will. We hope you find a solution for that, that is economical, because yeah, that can be a big deal. Yep. And then trying to remember what else I had. A lot of deer. Oh, and all this country stuff is new for you. Yeah. Ooh,
Well,
yeah.
Christy, human hair and human pee helps keep deer off
Yes.
of stuff.
So hardware cloth is better wire, but pricey. Yes, that
Yes.
is absolutely true.
And the place to use hardware cloth is for the chicken pen.
Yeah.
To keep the predators out. If you're just fencing a garden to keep chickens out, or something trying to keep chickens out of flower bed, the cheaper chicken wire, that's kind of the place for it.
Yeah.
But definitely if we're putting animals, keeping chickens in and keeping predators out of for them, it definitely hardware cloth is better.
So for your garden, I know this is really gross, but like Gary said, human urine is a really good barrier. And basically, you do an area, or you would do a perimeter. You go around it. There you go. There you go, Barb. There you go. There you go. Yeah, her coop in the city, she had hardware cloth along the bottom of the coop. That is good. Yep. 2 foot tall rabbit guard fence around the garden is cheap here. That's cool. That's a good tip, Barb. My dad had good results keeping raccoons out by playing hard rock music in a radio underneath the metal wash tub. Oh, that's awesome.
Stuff like that will help on that.
Yeah, and in the pen. Yeah, that's what Patty was talking about, in the pen. And Christy's asking, where do you find that? Where can you find that usually at? Which stores? But yeah, you know what?
What?
Barb, the 2 foot rabbit guard fence.
I don't.
Yeah. Hello, Lori Cart. But yeah, it is very farm and ranch supplies. It is very often that we'll bottle up human urine and sprinkle it around the perimeter of the garden. We don't put it in the garden because that can be too much ammonia. But
I will say that from this point on, we won't put it in the garden. I do pee all over the garden in the winter. Because we're getting.
Don't drive by our house too slow. Don't get it.
You can see that from the road. More power to you. But we kind of get some nitrogen into the soil. But when you've got your plants growing, you can't overload them with nitrogen with urine. But it's definitely a good perimeter of a scent.
Yep.
Bobcat urine helps.
Hi,
as a scent
Charlene Grady.
post.
But the thing with using urine, if you get a heavy dew or rain, it has to
It's got to be regularly applied.
regularly applied. Get a schedule.
Every morning after I drink a cup of coffee.
Oh goodness, but yeah. So yeah, we sent when we lived out west in Kansas. We'd send the kids out. Got some at Menards and Farm Supply. Good job, Barb. Thank you. Amazon too. Awesome. But yeah, Luke and Gary, that was their job, to go around the perimeter of the garden. And
also, besides urine, human hair.
Yeah.
If you'll just ask the barber to save you a bag of human hair every once in a while, that can help deter deer. It's really not going to stop coons. I don't know that the urine will stop coons either, but deer and rabbits definitely does a number on and helps keep them away.
It does have to be reapplied as well.
Yeah.
Because of the birds taking it. Yeah, he's sprinkling in the nitrogen. That
Yes,
as
ma'am.
well. Yep. chasing a dog, chasing a raccoon with a jar on its head, and britches fell down. Good thing I was in the woods.
Oh my goodness.
I love
Was that before or after you fell out of the tree that you were climbing?
That wasn't her that climbed the
It
tree.
wasn't?
No.
Oh, okay. I
No,
thought
no,
it
no,
was
no.
Christy.
No, Christy didn't fall out of the tree.
Okay.
That was, I gotta think. Jennifer.
Oh, okay.
That was Jennifer. Jennifer fell out of the tree. Jennifer, Good Times with Steve and Jen, yeah. But yeah. Yeah, so yeah. No tree climbing. Not yet, anyway. But yeah, lots of fun, and yeah. We're going really slow with growing, because we really can't. I mean, we could expand our homestead here. I mean, we could have like a milk goat or a milk cow.
Yeah, they would let us. And we might could even raise a fat pig.
Right.
They are definitely not opposed to our agriculture, but we just, part of it is we've got other goals.
Yes, and time and resources
Uh-huh.
is part of it too. Our jobs are taking a lot of time, and
But a lot of our protein has come from hunting
yes.
and fishing, and so we definitely have been eating a lot of deer meat, but we also butchered a cow that had to be put down. She prolapsed,
Salvaged
so we
the
salvaged
beef.
a lot of beef, and we've been using that. We helped my brother butcher a pig and got part of the pork from that. But we've been eating more convenience food than usual here recently. So.
Which is really starting to affect our health.
So we're getting back to eating what we know is good for us. We love foraging, and we love, and in foraging you can include hunting and fishing kind of in that.
Yeah.
We definitely think wild food is amazing.
Yes.
And it's something that anybody that can get access, day use of the land can do. There's almost, fishing's pretty easy to get public access. Foraging probably right behind that, and you can forage even in urban areas. You just kind of got to be careful about what else is on the ground and being sprayed. But typically, if there's a whole bunch of weeds growing there probably wasn't a weed killer sprayed there.
Probably not.
And so foraging, fishing, foraging, those are things that almost everybody can find access for, even if you live in town. There tends to be places in urban areas or semi-urban areas and definitely in suburban areas that's possible. And then hunting, a lot of states have quite a bit of public hunting ground. Figure out how to use that, and sometimes you can ask get permission on private ground to hunt too. Some states have less public hunting ground. Like if you're in Wyoming, like 70% of the state's public ground.
Right.
In Missouri, it's like.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, save 10 plates and tie to fence on strings to bang around, keeps critters out of the garden.
Yes.
You do need to change that up every now and then, though, because they'll get desensitized.
And a motion sensor light.
Yes.
That comes on definitely helps with, and that is wild critters. Helps with deer, helps with rabbits, those kind of things. Your chickens that's not going to keep them out of your garden.
They don't care.
But, and the smell of you won't scare them out either. They'll think that maybe you're feeding them in there.
Flags that you move around.
Yeah, definitely good for critters. I've seen I call it circus tape.
Yeah.
The little
The
ribbon
little
with
ribbon
all the little flags on it. That I've seen people put that around their garden to kind of help keep deer out and stuff.
Yeah, and I've seen people make them with bandanas. Just something fun and pretty.
Walmart sacks work.
Walmart sacks work really good.
But another
and
thing,
the little whirly gigs. What are those? The little spinners. How are we using dandelions right now? Well, right now you can eat the leaves as salad greens before they put on a bud for flowering. which is getting pretty short for some of us. But if they're just emerging and they've got like the 2 or 3 leaves and they haven't put out a flower bud, that's great. The flower buds, we had them in our salad yesterday. The flowers, the actual flowers.
And right now is a really good time to be harvesting the roots to make dandelion coffee or dandelion tea, whatever you want to call it.
Before they flower much, they'll be a little more bitter when they flower. The root will.
Before they flower, before they put on the flower buds, it's a really good time to get the roots. And that's what we've harvested here, and I've been using in some of my tea that I make. But also, one morning I did chop up some leaves with some wild onions. When I picked some wild onions down here, and I chopped up some leaves and some wild dandelion leaves and wild onions, sauteed them in a little butter, and then scrambled eggs with them. And so I really like dandelion greens and scrambled eggs. That's my favorite way.
And they're a good bitter for the liver right now.
Yeah.
I mean, they're real good. So bitters like greens, what we would consider I don't know, what we would consider a green, but they are good for the liver. And so dandelion is the whole plant of dandelion is an amazing liver detox. And so right now you can eat the flowers, you can eat the leaves, and you can eat the root.
Rule of thumb, Julie, right?
Yeah, it was
Julie. Rule of thumb is
Julia. I'm sorry.
Julia. Rule of thumb is that when the dandelions start putting the flower bud on, is they get quite a bit more bitter.
Yeah.
And then after that, the main thing we will sometimes still use the roots, but the main thing we use after they put on the flower bud is the flower itself, which makes a really nice tea, also makes a really good jelly.
Yes.
Also makes a good garnish for a salad, a good add-on for a salad.
So, Christy Betts says she used to hang old CDs to help keep birds, and it'll help with other animals too. Patty had the same suggestion. Evelyn said her dad had used old fiberglass CB antenna poles and put plastic flags so they'd whip in the wind. Yes. Radio, NPR. NPR would run anybody off. I've not tried the dandelion root coffee yet.
We have a video of that on how to make that, and you can go back and watch that. I think I gave pretty good instruction, but yes, that's an excellent thing to make.
Yeah. Do greens and scrambled eggs? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dandelions are a good one for that.
Yep. Blanch to reduce the bitterness. Oh, good one there, Miss Patty. Place over a pot and top them to curb them in the dark.
Does that say? I thought it said keep them in the dark.
I think that's supposed to be keep. Yeah, I think it's supposed to be keep, but it's KERP. I think it's supposed to be keep.
Put a pot over them in the yard while they're growing,
yep.
keep them in the dark.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yeah. We have Wheaties and eggs. Yes, we do. We eat grass and eggs a lot. Flowers make lovely tea and jelly. Yes, they do.
Yes,
they do. We love, and they make good syrup too. So you can not put the pectin in and have syrup, and it makes amazing syrup. Just saying. But yeah, so it's super easy. It's sugar, vanilla, and the dandelions.
We ate brownies.
Yes.
That there was dandelion roots used in that. They were chopped up and roasted and then put in the brownie, and it was like chunks of chocolate in there.
Yeah, it was really good.
It was so like a chocolate peanut flavor kind of, and Rachel West made that.
Yeah, that's Gary had it. Gary smelled what you were stepping in. Yes, they are brave. Yes, they can't. They are very smart, and they are easy to desensitize or get used to things. Oh, chicory's blanched in the same way.
Cool.
We've got lots of chicory here too.
Yeah, we
and I need to show you chicory so you can identify it. But yeah,
I only recognize it by the flower.
I can show you some that I know. Like there's just a patch out by my truck. but I know that it's chicory, and I'll show you.
We were fed a meal by Rachel West, which has Eating the Ozarks, which Eating the Ozarks is a good resource.
Yes.
And Bo Brown's a good resource for foraging stuff.
Yeah.
But I can't remember what was in the ice cream. She made the ice cream with something.
Yeah, I don't remember what was in the ice cream.
And then she had a dandelion brownies that were amazing.
Yeah.
Acorn flour, dandelions.
And she made something with juniper berries, which of course I couldn't have, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Still. It's a relative of dandelion.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm familiar with chicory, and we've had chicory
Mhm.
coffee
Coffee.
a time or two. I think we actually bought that
We did.
product, but and my brother keeps telling me he's had chicory and really likes it, and me and him keep talking about harvesting a bunch of it. We just haven't got it done yet. Yeah. But dandelion coffee is kind of one of my things that I really like.
Yeah, he really likes to roast the dandelion. And another thing that we have around here that he really likes is sassafras.
Oh yeah.
Actually, not in a low one.
Well, we use.
Or do you
I
low?
use a fairly warm oven. It's 375.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you'd call that low or not. That's.
But we
fairly
have
low.
dehydrated them in our dehydrator, which is heat dehydrated.
Yeah.
But
So if I dehydrate them, I dehydrate them and then roast them,
yeah,
and they just roast faster if they're dehydrated.
yeah,
So I feel like if I'm gonna roast them in my oven without dehydrating them, I just let them set like in the sunshine for a day or two and dry out some. They roast better for coffee purposes if they're dried to a point. Now, if you're gonna roast them and use them like in the brownie, I imagine you would not want them dried.
yeah. Yes. I'm thinking about all the things. Right now is foraging time. Big time. There's a lot of things right now. Green onion, wild onions, which come. So I grew up with two kinds. I grew up with the round one and the flat blade, and I've always called the round one wild onions and the flat bladed one wild garlic because it has more of a garlic flavor and smell. But I guess technically they're both wild onions.
They are.
Technically.
And what we always picked as wild onions were the flat bladed ones.
What's the flat bladed ones?
And
but I can tell you this: they make amazing powder. So if you don't want to chop them up and use them for like anything, if you have too much to use fresh, you don't have to worry about freezer space. If you're worried about freezer space, you can dehydrate them and chop them up, and you can use them like dehydrated chives. You can chop them up and use them like onion flakes. You can chop them up you can emulsify them or powder them. You can powder them and they make
powder them.
Dry them and powder them.
Dehydrate them and powder them, and they make a great powder, onion powder, garlic powder, seasoning. And a tip to dehydrating thin things like that, dehydrate really well on the dash of a vehicle.
They do.
And if you put all that wild onions and garlic on the dash of your vehicle, it smells like pizza inside.
Oh, I got you, Christy. Christy doesn't have as many dandelions as she'd like, so she's not going to pull the roots.
Gotcha.
So that they can propagate. That's good. Because, you don't want to, you need them to flower. And you may have to go scratch up places so that you have exposed areas to propagate.
Your neighbors will really love that you're propagating. You can actually buy certain varieties of dandelion seeds. At one time, Baker Creek was selling a purple leaf dandelion.
Yes. They were, Hen bit for anything. That was another one. Yes. Hen bit. So basically, we ate it a lot as a kid. So it's in the mint family. Hen bit is.
The green is edible.
It's a little more bitter, and you can use it in a salad.
Yeah, I would. It's all right to mix in with other things. I wouldn't eat it alone.
No, we did as kids.
I don't know that it'll hurt you. It just doesn't taste as great as just a little bit of it's okay. Yeah,
there's a lot of wild foods here. Hen bit's good for tea. to dry, dehydrate, and put in teas in your herbal teas to make in your mixes of teas. So is dead nettle. Henbit also, it doesn't have as many medicinal purposes, but it also makes a good salve. It's not as strong as like dead nettle. Which is a cousin to it, or the same family.
It looks pretty similar.
Very similar. It's got flatter blades instead of the little curly.
If you ever know the difference, it's pretty easy to tell when you get close to it. But from a distance, they look a lot alike.
Yeah. And so infused oil to make into a salve with dead nettle is good. Dead nettle tea is very good for you. It's another liver detoxifier, as well as the henbit. They're great feed for the chickens. Chickens love henbit. Mm-hmm. And they don't have as much for bigger animals. Yeah, yeah. The way I've had it was dehydrated, and it was mixed in with other teas. Landlord hates dandelions, yeah, because they want that nice, beautiful, manicured lawn. And that's okay. That's what they want. Yep, that's okay.
They own it. They get a say.
That's okay. Yep. So. And I hated after I wasn't my intention to make fun of them, but that's their purpose. Yeah. Dead nettle here. Good. I was watching a gal making salve out of it the other day. I love to watch videos and TikToks and shorts, and she'd actually dried hers first. Mm-hmm. I've seen it both ways, where they just infused it in oil. I can see, or where they just picked it, washed it, and put it in the oil to infuse it, and then strained it. And I can see why they hydrate it first, because you don't have as much for it to go rancid. You don't have that water content, because right now it should have a high water content, and if you dehydrate it, it doesn't have as high a water content. And then she double boiled it, like she put it to infuse the oil and speed that process up. She put those dry henbit, or dry dead nettle, it was dead nettle, not henbit. She put the dry dead nettle in a can and put that in water, basically did a double boiler method, and just slowly the oil was in a can.
The oil was in. Oh, gotcha.
And the dried nettle was. She'd pour the oil over the dried nettle. She'd put the can in water to make like a double boiler, and just slowly to speed up that process by heating the oil to go a little faster. You can do that with some things. Some things you don't want the heat, because you don't want to kill some of the good medicinal properties. Yes, dandelions get a bad rap.
Well, I don't know if you guys know this, but dandelions are naturalized here. They were not, they're not native, they're naturalized, which means they fit in good with our system. They're not an invasive, but they are not native. So they're naturalized, and they were brought here as a food. Mm-hmm. They were brought here as a food crop. In a food system that is completely foreign to us, but when the majority of food and food systems were meant to be backyard systems. Yes. And they brought that because that was something they knew would grow anywhere, would grow fast, and feed them well. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah. And right now is a good time also to do, to be scouting out and finding your mullein plants. Now is the perfect time to harvest mullein when the leaves are young and tender. Yeah. And they're just starting to come out, and they have all the medicinal properties. Also, right now is a good time to look for your plantain leaves, which didn't know if they also were carried on the shoes of explorers, I guess you would say. Mm-hmm. People coming to explore the Americas. They're not native to the Americas either,
naturalized,
but they've naturalized, and they're great medicinal, and you can eat them too. So you can make your own little salad if you wanted to.
Yeah, one of the things to remember when you are picking greens for salads, first of all, don't eat anything you are not completely sure of what it is and that it's safe to eat. Yes. And don't run just off of our talking. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Second of all, is to taste some of those things before you put them all together in a salad. There are some wild edibles that are quite edible, that can be very overpowering in a salad, and you just want a few
Cleavers, yes, cleavers, yeah. Doesn't like veggie gardens either. Well, I'm so sorry, Miss Patty. Oh, have a dandelion look-alike that self-sows, yep. Wild garlic and asparagus, yes.
Yes.
Yes, Julie Cook.
Yeah, my dad asked me today if I was missing all the wild asparagus I used to find in Kansas.
Yeah, it's not quite asparagus time. Soon. And it's looking like it's going to be sooner. Usually asparagus time is...
like that sitting on Joe's counter.
Really? I need to go check the asparagus out here then. But I didn't even look at the asparagus in Kansas. But the kids said they've been keeping an eye on it. And they put a cage over it. One of our cages that we haul in the back of our truck. Put over it so they'd remember that's where it was at and not accidentally mow it. And, but yeah. And so that the rabbit couldn't get into it too. And, yeah. So rabbits couldn't get into it. But, like, yeah. Well, we are... Have it. You've gotten a few? Good. Well, we brought some garlic with us. We're going to try something.
We got to get that planted.
Yeah, you have a few already. Yeah, we got to get that planted tomorrow.
Yeah, I got a few asparagus. I'm assuming
cool.
Yeah,
cool. Usually
awesome.
It's April. That's super early.
Yeah, well, everything's a little early this year. I know there's people already claiming to find mushrooms. I haven't found any yet, but it is a little early. But things are a week or two early this year. Maybe a few weeks early, a lot of it. So.
Miss Julie Cook, hello. Yeah, so we brought some of our garlic from Kansas. It's just the little shoots right now. We're going to try to plant it like you would...
Transplant it?
Yeah, transplant it like you would an onion plant. And we're going to try to do that and see how we do. We brought clumps where the little seed, they're not a corn. What are
bulblet.
The bulblet, yeah, where the little bulblet had fallen, and they're all clustered together because the bulblets were clustered together. So we're going to divide them up and see. Wild asparagus along the roadsides, yes, yeah. And basically, my understanding of the wild asparagus that we found in Kansas, that it was feral. Yeah, it was just feral, and the garlic was the same. And you can trim your garlic leaves on your garlic that you're growing in the garden or that you find feral, and you can trim that and dehydrate that as well. It's not as good. It's not tender. It's pretty. It's not real tender to use fresh right now. But well, we're gonna have to get praying and get going because 9 acre. Yes, wild asparagus. Yep. So we're gonna have to do our prayer because Dale will be live in 7 minutes. So yeah. So we got Julie and Julia in here today. But yeah.
So we need to pray for Rebecca.
Mm-hmm.
We need to pray for.
Was it Miss Patty that hurt her knee?
Patty.
Miss Patty hurt her knee. Mm-hmm.
And we're going to pray for Evelyn.
Evelyn, yep.
If there are any other prayer requests, let us know.
Yeah.
Gonna do night chores.
Yeah.
All right.
Give you a couple minutes for some more prayer requests, if anybody's got them. And yeah. Boo Kitty. Yes, your cat, Christy's cat. Boo Kitty. Boo Kitty. Okay. The cat got bit by the moccasin.
Oh, yes.
We need to pray for that. I knew that something else I was trying to think of, and that was it, the kitty cat. Yes, because I think it's okay to pray for our animals. I really do, because God's given them to us as companions. Yes, Miss Patty, that's my favorite way to use them, too. So, yeah. We got lots of, I say we will have lots of, we do have some, Egyptian walking onions. Right now is a perfect time to thin them and use them and plant them back, because they multiply at the base as well as multiply through the bulblets. So now's a good time to divide them and replant what you want and use what you want. Yes. and yeah, they're wonderful companions, and God's given us them as a gift, and yes, we should take care of them. Yes, poor Boo. So, all right, Boo. So we've got Rebecca, Miss Patty's knee. We've got Boo Kitty, and there was one more, and Evelyn Newman. There we go. Father God, I just want to come to you tonight, and I just want to thank you for our family here on YouTube, Lord, and I just thank you for their love and support, and Lord, I just want to lift them up to you tonight. Those that have prayer requests that they haven't mentioned, Lord, like Evelyn's prayer request, Lord, we just lift that up to you. You know every in and out of that prayer request, and Lord, I just ask that you would just direct that and answer that prayer. And Lord, I lift Boo Kitty up to you, Lord. I ask that you would heal him as he is a wonderful companion. We thank you for his companionship. We thank you for the gift of him, for Christy, and the job that he performs as rodent patrol. Lord, I just thank you and praise you for him, and I ask that you would heal him. And Lord, I lift up Miss Patty as she's injured her knee. Lord, I ask that you would relieve her pain, that you would help her to endure until she gets to go to the doctor, that you would ease that pain, and that you would give the doctor wisdom as to how to help her, Lord. And Lord, I lift up Rebecca to you, Lord. I ask that you would continue to heal her body from this infection. Lord, I ask that you would ease her pain as well, and that you would be with her. Lord, I just thank you and praise you for, again, for this YouTube family, and I ask special blessings upon each of their lives.
Lord, you are mighty and you're holy, and we're so thankful we can lift these things up to you. Lord, you know and hear every one of our requests, and Lord, we just ask that you be with those. And there's been several physical needs and health needs brought up here, and Lord, we lift those up. And animals, and Lord, we lift that up. But Father, there are many spiritual needs here too that haven't been mentioned, and we want to lift those up to you. You know, there's an unspoken request tonight, and we lift that up to you. Lord, we're so thankful that we can just share with you just lay our burdens on you and let you worry about it. So we love you and we praise you and we thank you for that. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you guys so much for coming in. Don't forget that Dale will be coming on live here in just a few minutes at 9 Acre Family Farms. And, thank you, Mike. Mike, can you give us an update on Tina? I almost said the wrong sister's name. I was seeing Tina's face, but I almost said Lynn. So what's going on with Lynn? I hope everything's going okay with Lynn. But yeah, how's Miss Tina doing? From what I can see on Facebook, looks like she's doing okay.
Doing well, I said.
Doing well. Good. Mike's sister, one of his sisters, Tina, is going through cancer treatment right now, and we've been lifting her up in prayer, and so please continue to do that. And see, we got 2 minutes left, less than 2 minutes, a minute and 20 seconds. But yeah,
we love our YouTube family.
We
too,
do.
Evelyn. We're thankful for you being here.
Yes. And just Well, thank you guys. Yes, Lord, touch Tina. Yes. Thanks again for coming in. I think we're going to have, we will have our live next week. I'm not sure what Easter will bring for Easter Sunday. We're just going to have to wait and see for Easter weekend. But as far as I know, we will be having our live next week at 5 Central Standard Time. And thank you guys for coming in. And pray you have a blessed week. Oh, that's okay, Miss Jan. You're good. Pray you guys have a blessed week. And remember,
God made you special.
And he loves you very much. Have a good week, y'all. And remember that you're loved.
See you later.
See ya.